Hello, today I'm gonna talk about getting started with programming and just share my thoughts on it. I'm a professional software engineer. Jump right into it. So what's gonna be here? Motivation, which like environment, basically OS or IDEs to use, which like first programming language to pick, and specifically like talk about C++ and chat about AI assistants and basically how to learn what to program and then how to become a professional programmer if it gets to that. So some motivation. You may be like interested about asking maybe it's difficult or like too many engineers on the market or maybe AI would make programmers obsolete. So the answer is simply it's maybe or like somewhat or maybe partially. At the same time, it's kind of like true with various professions as they evolve. Like skill set may change and basically you can like you can achieve more with using new tools, but usually many professions still stay. So yeah, but main thing is like TLDR is like, do you enjoy it? Do you just want to recreate some programs that you saw, like, or like have some imagination? You want to like make it into action and so on. If you do, just if it's fun, just go for it. You can, in the worst case, it can be just remain a hobby, and it still can be like pretty good result. For OS, it can be pretty much anything, probably like Windows, Mac OS, and most Linuxes would do, but I would say like almost anything you're comfortable with and which supports like programming languages. Maybe there are some like exotic versions of Linux which maybe like come with bare bones and you need to make sure that like you have like a programming language compiler or interpreter installed. But for what like people typically use, it should not be a problem. But again, like you can adjust. Basically, ecosystems are quite rich. And for IDEs, it's a similar story. There are a lot of like free ones. I would recommend starting with that. I like Visual Studio Code a lot for console applications. It has a rich system of extensions. And then Visual Studio for community you can use for desktop apps and more. For first programming language, there are a lot of languages. Some is like decades of history, and they keep evolving. So they are compiled and interpreted. They're strictly and dynamically typed, or statically and dynamically typed. Sorry, and then you can maybe not know like what specifically to like jump into, how to select. But there is no single right answer. You can, well, again, pretty much just pick what you like have available and like suited to what you basically wanna program. For example, I started with Delphi and like Turbo Pascal, and Delphi is like based on like Pascal language. It's probably not like widely used nowadays. But it's been a good learning experience. I was able to create like cool desktop apps with like all the buttons and like some even like wrote a system for testing programming competitions. Took maybe 1.5 years. Probably my first big project. Um, and the good thing is like no matter what you pick, if you like keep practicing enough, at some point you'll just be able to learn like any language pretty much. And even for very unfamiliar language, you can still usually like jump in and like, at least like read and understand what's going on. But that would take some time though. So if you don't have specific preferences, I would suggest like use Python or Go for console programs. That's also going to be likely useful if you like start working professionally. C# for desktop apps. It's like when I was studying like C# for the first time after like Delphi, there have been a lot of similarities. Although C# is based more like on C, of course. But in terms of like how like the program is developed and what the IDE provides, it's been like similar feeling. So I'd actually recommend trying it, even if you don't end up using it professionally. For C++, it's like a great debate of like how good is it, and it also evolved to like it's like a monster with like a lot of new standard changes and like a lot of like features and things you can do. And so there are like maybe more than 1,000 pages in the standard. I still recommend learning though. Reasons are, so it's first of all, it's good brain exercise. So if you don't end up using it, then basically if you can learn C++, you can learn like almost any language. Sometimes when every bit of performance counts, you would also be like needing to use C++. And you can have more freedom, both create stuff and shoot yourself in the foot. For AI assistants, there are IDEs like Cursor, they're on the rise and they're popular, they're strong and allowed to do magic. So if you use correctly, I think, just my opinion, I cannot predict the future, but I think they can like be assistant, which like helps skillful developers. But I don't think it's gonna like specifically replace developers as easily. Overall impact of AI on ecosystem is still remains to be understood and seen. Maybe like just a bar of like what it means to be like a professional software engineer and what skills you need maybe can rise, and entry level can rise. But AI assistant is like, it's not gonna do well if like you don't understand what's happening. Like it can hallucinate, it can have bugs in the code, so you need to like basically understand the code written, and you cannot just blindly put it to production. And the AI also not gonna like fix production for you, so that you still need to like jump into that. So I would not really recommend it initially, but if you can get like good preset up, maybe like if you're exploring and don't know how to like get started, for example, with some algorithm like quicksort, you can say, hey Cursor, please write me a quicksort, and then you explain like what's happening, and like explore basically the code it wrote, and maybe like you would find some bugs even, which is all like good practice as well. How to learn? There are a lot of free and paid resources, like paid maybe like LinkedIn Learning has a lot of great courses. For free, you can just like search various guides and like maybe read the websites of the languages like python.org, for example, or go.dev. There are also a lot of examples, and like many of them offer also like interactive tools to like just try some code in the playground. I also like books. I got started with actually Book for Delphi, which books are good because they give like a fundamental overview, which is more like kind of a academical style. But that's when you're getting started with something, academical style is like usually really good. It gives you like a background you may be like missing otherwise. Sure, maybe you can like without that you can just write the simple programs like without much hassle. But sometimes you just wouldn't even know that you're missing something. So I definitely recommend picking up some good book in a language you've picked, and just let it guide you. If you become serious about making it a profession, maybe pick university courses related to programming, or maybe even a related degree. You don't have to be like exactly computer science, but maybe something related to mathematics would be very good. As to what, you can also pick like basically what you like, what makes you like excited. Like maybe like play some games you like, maybe try to recreate them. Or like maybe do some calculator or something, at least with small numbers. Usually books and courses also give you some like practices, so there will be probably plenty of that. I think most important thing is to how to make it structured, make your learning structured. That's why I think like some like maybe more like bigger like longer courses or like books can be like a better choice. And if you want to become a professional programmer, you try it and you spend a lot of hours and like enjoy it even more and don't hate it. And you think like market is still good and you think that's it, I want to be a professional software engineer. That's great. It's also tough, but I think like it's tough as every profession. Once says that you may need like 10,000 plus hours to become an expert in the field, and probably it's true for programming. I've been programming for like more than 20 years and more than 10 years professionally. I started with like just some like simple applications, then also participated in programming competitions, got some internships, and eventually got some full-time offers, and had some part-time jobs as well. It depends on which stage you're in your life. If it's just for example high school, you can just like teach or like get teacher in programming. You can study on your own. You can also participate in programming competitions. Same at university, but in university usually you get another like very powerful avenues like internships, and definitely recommend like trying them out because it gives you like connections, it gives you like experience in the industry, and it's also just awesome time spent. Um, then basically it can be hard overall. Like if especially if you already like have another profession, maybe think of transitioning. I would recommend then starting the hobby. If your like degree is fully like different, maybe it's worth just getting another degree. Um, but there are people who can like do it without like formally going to university. So that's actually good. One of good things about university that it teaches you how to get information and process it. So then later, if you need a new field, you can have more chances to like doing it on your own. But again, like university is not like mandatory, but it can like if you kind of don't fully know what you're doing, it can be pretty helpful. So that would be it for today. Thanks for watching and have fun.